This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Stop politicizing the Farmwork program, Senator Floyd Morris tells Labor Minister. Opposition spokesperson on Labor and Social Security, Senator Dr. Floyd Morris, is calling on the Minister of Labor and Social Security to stop politicizing the Overseas Employment Program. According to Dr. Morris, the Minister of Labor and Social Security has given instructions for all names in the pool of workers who have been selected for the Overseas Employment Program up to September 2020 to be cancelled. Additionally, Morris said it has been revealed that the minister indicated that only new recruits selected by new members of Parliament will be selected for the program. If this is true, it is a blatant attempt to politicize the Overseas Employment Program and should be strongly condemned, the opposition spokesman said. It is unfair to those individuals who have gone through a genuine selection process with trained technocrats from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security to be discarded based on political considerations and machinations, he added. Members of Parliament are not qualified to select individuals for the Overseas Employment Program. They can recommend individuals, but the selection of these individuals must be left up to the trained individuals who understand the criteria of overseas employers. If we continue this worrying trend, it will place this program that has brought in billions of dollars to Jamaican families on an annual basis at a serious risk, the senator said. At the expiration of 21 days, Senator Morris said he intends to ask the minister the following questions. Up to September 2021, how many individuals were traveling on the Overseas Employment Program? Between 2016 and 2020, how many individuals were selected for the Overseas Employment Program? How many individuals are currently in the pool to travel on the Overseas Employment Program? Can the minister state how these individuals were identified and selected? Can the minister state if there is a change in the selection process and explain what this process is? Are public servants involved in this selection process? Can the minister indicate if overseas employers have made any complaints on the quality of workers coming from Jamaica up to September 2021? Majority of Cape CSEC students receive passing grades. Education Minister Favour Williams says 89.6% of public school students in Jamaica who sat this year's Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination received passing grades. According to the minister, 88.8% of candidates in private schools received satisfactory results. A pass in Cape ranges from grade 1 to 5. The education minister said there were improvements in the performance in 5 subjects among students in public schools this year compared to 2020.
Namely accounting, animation and game design, chemistry, entrepreneurship, and physical education and sport. Some 294 entries in all 34 subject areas for both units were deferred. That is, those students would have decided not to sit the subjects in this examination period. It should be noted that Performing Arts Unit 2, Music and Dance were not administered this year because of the pandemic. The number of females who actually sat was 16,075, 94.4%, with 13,992 or 87% awarded grades 1 to 3 in 1 or more subjects, while the number of males who sat was 11,714 or 89%, from which 9,768 or 83.4% obtained grades 1 to 3 in 1 or more subjects.
Congregants from Mobay called to incident charged for breaching DRMA. The news has been informed that most of the congregants from Pathways International Kingdom Restoration Ministries of Montego Bay St. James, who were detained following Sunday's deadly incident, have been charged under the Disaster Risk Management Act. So far, 30 women and 10 men, including the leader of the church, have been charged for being out on a no-movement day. They remain in custody along with the pastor of the church and a female member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Her service pistol has been seized for ballistic testing. Investigators are still collecting statements to determine the persons who should be charged with the murders of 2 congregants killed as part of a ritual. A third person was shot dead by the police. 3 persons have also been hospitalized. The police said they were called to the building by an injured congregant. The woman was reportedly injured after she disobeyed instructions given to her by leaders of the religious group. It's reported that other information was provided that led the police to believe that persons were at risk. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson said the police prevented a potential mass killing of women and children. $200,000 reward offered for suspected abductor of St. Thomas girls. A reward has been offered for information leading to the arrest of Davion Bryan, the man suspected of abducting 2 girls in St. Thomas last week. The reward of $200,000 is being offered through Crime Stop Jamaica. Bryan is suspected of abducting 9-year-old Felicia Prushaw on Thursday, October 14, and the 13-year-old Winchie Barrett on Saturday, October 16. He is also wanted by the Portland Police, where he has absconded bail that was granted in relation to several charges, including illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. Felicia and Winchie were both found in heavily wooded areas of the parish by search parties consisting of the police, agencies, and residents. Teams continue to search the area for Bryan. Meanwhile, the police continue to advise extreme caution in regards to children in the parish, even as a manhunt continues for Bryan. Parents are being urged by the police to keep children safe and to ensure that they are supervised at all times. Persons with information on the whereabouts of Davion Bryan are asked to contact Crime Stop at 311. Persons can also contact the Morant Bay Police at 876-982-1027, the Police 119 number, or the nearest police station. Manhunt on in Grand Spen following shootout with cops. The police have launched a search for a man who was reportedly involved in a gun battle with officers in Grand Spen, St. Andrew on Tuesday. Reports are that 1 illegal firearm was seized during the operation. The police said the man, who is wanted for several serious crimes, escaped after running into a yard in the mentioned area. Residents in Grand Spen have, however, refuted the claims. The man was talking to a close associate in the area when a team of officers traveling in an unmarked car drove up and just started firing, said one woman who claimed that she was an eyewitness. The residents also accused the police of opening fire on the premises where the suspect entered. The police just come and start firing at the yard, even when we are telling them say baby over the yard. All an old lady at the premises was left traumatized because of the shooting, the residents said. Police, however, released a different story. Police said the man was traveling in a car that lawmen were chasing, and on reaching the Grand Spen area, the accused man exited the vehicle and started firing at the police team. Police said they returned the fire at the man, but he escaped. A Glock pistol was recovered in the yard that the man ran through, a senior officer told the news. The police, after the incident, were also seen placing a vehicle on the back of a wrecker. Remittances to Jamaica increased by 18%. There has been an 18% increase in remittance inflows to Jamaica. During the April to August period, remittances amounted to US $1.3 billion. That was a US $220 million increase over the 5-month period last year. The largest source market of remittance flows was the US. Remittances from the country accounted for 70% of total flows, up to 66.3% in August 2020. Other source countries which contributed a notable share of remittances in August were Canada at 11.8%, followed by UK and the Cayman Islands at 10% and 4.9% respectively. Mobay incident not a reflection of Jamaica's religious community, says Gregory. Reverend Howard Gregory, Anglican Archbishop of the West Indies, says the incident, which unfolded at the Pathways International Kingdom Restoration Ministries of Montego Bay, St. James on Sunday, is a regrettable distortion of the religious community in Jamaica. Archbishop Gregory says while there have been religious happenings outside of the ordinary, he has never seen anything of this nature. Speaking with the news on Tuesday morning, Archbishop Gregory called for people not to cast a judgment on religion based on the incident.
We need to be careful how we lump everybody into one mold, as it were. At the same time, as an expression of religion that has really done something that is awful, we all feel the pain, the hurt that has been done to those who are victims, members of the community, and must commit ourselves, first as religious persons, to project religion that is wholesome, but also as a society to be critically aware of religious expression in our midst. The educational system in our country has to share a responsibility. We need to cultivate the people critical thinking that you can examine not just politics and talk about politicians, that we can examine religion and religious expression so that persons can be able to determine that which is wholesome, that which makes for the well-being of persons, and of course, it's not just individuals, but for the well-being of society. I would be wary of thinking that there was no evidence of manipulation going on in this community. If I am not mistaken, this is not the first time that there has been a concern about this community. Something must have been going on before. But as I've indicated, leaders of cults play with the minds of people. As a matter of fact, the reason why the police was called, because one member, seeing what was happening, ran and reported it to the police. Probably in retrospect will tell you that, yes, I did see something, but when I added one and one, it wasn't coming to two.
81 new COVID-19 cases, 6 more deaths. 6 more COVID-19 fatalities have been recorded in Jamaica, increasing the tally to 2,123. The deceased are a 59-year-old woman from St. Catherine, whose death was previously under investigation, a 70-year-old woman from St. Catherine, whose death was previously under investigation, an 80-year-old man from Kingston and St. Andrew, an 81-year-old woman from Clarendon, a 52-year-old man from St. Thomas, and a 66-year-old woman from St. Catherine. The Ministry of Health says the fatalities occurred between October 15 and 17, and one more death is under investigation, moving that figure to 320. Meanwhile, there were 81 new cases with ages ranging from 3 months to 88 years, pushing the total to 87,667, with 29,120 being active. Of the new cases, 38 are women and 43 are men. The parish breakdown is as follows: Kingston and St. Andrew 24, St. Catherine 21, St. James 8, St. Anne 8, St. Elizabeth 6, Hanover 5, Clarendon 2, Westmoreland 2, Trelawney 2, St. Thomas 2, Manchester 1, and Portland and St. Mary recorded no new cases. A total of 746 tests were conducted. The country's positivity rate stands at 20.3%. In the meantime, there were 190 more recoveries, increasing the total to 55,827. Some 361 persons are in hospital, with 64 being moderately ill, 44 severely ill, and 20 critically ill, and 35,836 are in home quarantine. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.